I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about a African-American actor named Djimon. So this is a guy that I've only really seen in the Shazam movies, actually. He played the wizard that gave Billy his powers. And this guy, he's been in a lot of other movies. He was even nominated for like Oscars as well. But every single time I'm ever hearing about this guy in the news, he's always talking about how he's broke and talking about like racism and all this other weird nonsensical bullshit. So the only thing that I will mention in his favor that a lot of people actually mess up because they're just not smart at all, because the average person is just literally retarded on so many different levels, obviously. So people like Googling his net worth. Okay, so his net worth is around 3 million or whatever, right? That does not mean he has $3 million in the bank, okay? What you're actually valued at versus what you have in the bank is two totally different things. Just saying. Like Elon Musk is valued at, I forgot the actual number, but do you think he actually has that much money in his bank? No, he's probably got 10 times more of that in his actual bank account. So just putting it out there, just because you're worth a lot doesn't mean you actually have any money. So he recently had to have this interview where he was talking about like systemic racism. And as you guys know, I've talked about this at length on other episodes as well. Literally, you can defeat this argument so easily, but I'm going to go over and read his words. That way I can do it in front of you guys because you guys love it when I just destroy people and absolutely eviscerate them because I love doing it. And what great way to do it. Talking about a black guy, then having 5 white people here. That's just the ironies of all ironies. All right. Well, myself. I'm a white black guy. So, Djimon Hounson.
Talking about money with a bunch of people with good credit scores, it might help. It might help.
Oh, shit. Oh, gosh. Djimon Hounson says, I'm definitely underpaid and still struggling to make a living despite 2 Oscar nominations and many blockbuster roles. Now, this could also mean that whatever agent he has is also fucking him over on the deals potentially, or maybe he doesn't have an agent. Maybe he's signing all these deals himself. I mean, I literally don't know.
He's not. I guarantee he's not.
Yeah, because if there's a world where he's signing this by himself, then you just don't know what the hell you're doing then. But if you do have an agent and he is fucking you over, then get a new agent. Keep in mind, I don't know. I'm just playing both sides because I'm just trying to make both of the cases exist, right? Djimon Hounson said in a recent interview with CNN, oh God, fuck, kill me now. Yes, just oh God, CNN, yes, the beacon of freedom of speech and no lies. You know, that great network that launches streaming service.
Said in a recent interview with the Beacons of Truth, CNN. That's how you should have started it.
Yeah, CNN, that news network that tried to launch a streaming service that failed in one day. Yeah, great place you'd be having interviews with. All right. Djimon Hounson said in a recent interview with CNN that he continues to struggle as a working actor in Hollywood despite several roles in studio blockbusters under his belt and 2 Oscar nominations to his name. The actor noted that his continued struggles in Hollywood points to the systemic racism that prevails in the film industry. All right, so just right there. Okay, so he's talking about
give it up for MSK reading. Come on.
Oh, God.
Round of applause.
Okay,
you know what? I felt done myself.
We cannot criticize his reading skill because somehow, despite all of the societal and racial pressures, he knows what a computer is.
You know what? That's a W right there. I mean, I barely know what a vagina is.
Do you even have a driver's license? I mean,
you know, I don't know what a vagina is either because I've never had sex with a woman because I'm a fucking incel virgin, you know? But this right
definitely
here.
Apply. This definitely
finally spoke some truth, man.
Speaking about.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I always
totally relevant.
I always speak the truth. But speaking of systemic racism, you know, you can easily just destroy this guy's point Okay, so I'm just going to point it out this simple for people. The same system that he is involved in, he calls it racist, right? Yet this is the same system that allows him to be in, as he says, multiple blockbuster films. And keep in mind, not just that one that you got, not that, maybe that second one you got. He was in multiple, okay? Oscar nominated, okay? But the system is racist. Okay, how does one person conjure that as an argument when, by the definition of about how his career has been in Hollywood, the system isn't racist? If we're using that
so
as
far,
an
what you're
argument.
saying supports his actual argument, though, that he has been in Oscar-nominated films, and he's not getting the money that someone of his stature should be getting. So he's not getting the roles. Like, you're saying, hey, he's that black guy from Shazam. You're not giving him the respect that he deserves, and he deserves better than this, MSK.
But
do better.
To be fair, you look at these comments. Oh, he's been in two films that were Oscar nominated. Okay, what were they nominated for? Oh, they're nominated for best cinematography. Has nothing to do with him as an actor. Nominated for best
Gladiator
writing.
had something to do with
Has nothing to do with him as an actor. It had nothing to do with him. It just because it's nominated doesn't mean shit.
His 10,
Hollywood
his 10 to
awards are
15
bullshit.
His 10 to 15 minutes of screen time, guys. I mean, he deserves way more money for his 10 to 15 minutes in all these movies.
He was really good in there. He deserves better than he's currently getting. Right now, who's hiring him is Zack Snyder. And I'm sorry, but those Rebel Moon movies, they suck. I think he does have a bad contract, and he's locked in there for at least 4 of them. That sucks. But I just watched this crappy documentary called Brats. It's about the Brat Pack, if you remember, like the 80s ones. But this dude is convinced that this one article that was released on, I think it's Andrew McCarthy. He's one of them from the Brat Pack. But he's convinced that his entire career was killed by this one article that labeled them the Brat Pack. And then ever since that label, Hollywood wouldn't accept him as a real, true actor.
He had a bunch of movies.
I don't know. Everyone has... I think everybody has some idea of like, oh, this is the thing that's holding me back. Looks like this dude's latching on to this.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out it's just a terrible mindset to latch that onto, because given by how his career is panned out, the system isn't racist. Why would it, if people this racist, give him all these roles? If they're that racist?
Okay, if the system's that racist, how is Denzel making fantastic movies and living?
This is Samuel Jackson, the highest
Samuel
paid
Jackson
actor ever,
making what he's making and acting into his fucking 80s. How?
They're still casting Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. He's still getting cast in things.
Idris Elba.
Michael B. Jordan still casting stuff.
It's not racism, dude. Be better or get a better agent.
I hate when people just blame the system like
Take
that.
the bigger roles.
Yeah.
Find bigger roles. Don't be side guy number 15 who has like 2 lines.
Number 15. Oh, damn.
Like, yeah, you come in with like a couple lines, and yeah, sure, you do good with those couple lines, but it's like MSK just said, it's like, yeah, you're the wizard dude, and it's like you don't even remember the character's name.
I remember
because that's how forgettable you are.
Well, 2 movies he made it from beginning to end. Granted, he died in both of them. He made it from beginning to end. Gladiator and the Fast and Furious that Vin Diesel destroys a parking garage with his foot.
Oh, he was the Fast President.
He was in the helicopter day when he throws the fucking belt of grenades out of a moving car onto the helicopter. He was in that one too.
It was what was the thing? Eagle Eye. He was trying to get the Eagle Eye. Yeah. Okay.
So 2 movies he was in from beginning to end.
Well, he's one of the most forgettable Fast and Furious villains, though. I'm just saying. Yeah.
I guess MSK is saying with Gladiator as well, they upgraded to a Denzel instead of bringing him back. I think they should have brought him back. It would have been great.
I thought he died at the end. In the ride before the final fight.
He does not. He picks up the sand and does the whole Russell Crowe thing.
Okay.
All right. I am still struggling trying to make a living, Henson said. After 30 years, maybe the first 10 years was trying to acclimate myself to the industry, to establish myself. This is another thing a lot of people forget whenever we talk about these things and just get lost in translation. Just because you do any of this stuff does not guarantee people will know who you are. I think people just come to things and expect, hey, if I just do this long enough, I will be known. By what? What are the actual chances of that happening? Keep in mind, the chances that you know any of the people that we just mentioned is pretty low, honestly, given the fact that there's a lot of actors, there's a lot of actresses, there's a lot of directors, writers, all that stuff. He's been doing it this long. That's still commendable. I'm still going to give you props for that. But that doesn't mean that people should know you.
Yeah, how many times do you see actors and stuff in whatever you're watching, and you're like, oh, that's the guy from that movie, or that's the guy from that show. You don't actually know his name. You're like, oh, he played that character in Sons of Anarchy, or he played that in Scrubs, or whatever.
Yeah.
Shawshank
Really
Redemption.
quick.
Exactly.
The dude with the
You
chiseled
sit there and
cheeks. He's in a lot. He's in a lot of
Oh,
shit.
that chiseled cheeks guy. Hey,
Yeah.
MSK, what is a
Yes.
female actor? Could you say that again?
A female actress.
Okay, that
Okay,
time you
he's just
didn't add
trying
an
to-
extra syllable.
Okay, he's just trying to fuck
So
with me.
okay,
I hate
for
white
the
people.
sake
Yeah, go on,
for
Darcy.
the sake of generosity, I guess I decided to look up how much his house is, like what his house is.
Yes.
So his house, he bought it for $2.1 million, which is half of his listed net worth. Okay,
Mhm.
he doesn't live there. He rents it out for $11,000 a month. It
'Cause he
doesn't.
can't afford to stay there, man.
It doesn't say where he's living. Just that
Mhm.
somebody else is living in that house. And now I decided I'd also do that math real quick, see how much that
Fine.
costs, and put it again because I forgot it. But it's like $141,000 a year being paid to him in rent money.
Seems like he's just bad at spending money. But I've been
That's what a
in
lot of
this
these people
business.
do. They start making this kind of money and then they immediately go to start living beyond their means because they just think they're going to continuously get these giant checks and whatever. And it's like, yeah, you might have got one role, two roles, couple small movies. And sure, you get paid decent money, but it's not like, oh, every single movie you're getting paid blockbuster money for your B roll in some Netflix throwaway movie. It's
Yeah.
just not going to happen.
And
And
keep in mind,
they
he
live
attached
like it
himself to
does.
Zack Snyder, like you said, and even that should be almost career suicide, attaching anything your fucking brand is to that guy. But he apparently is still getting roles. But I've been in the business making films now for over 2 decades and with 2 Oscar nominations and been in many blockbusters, and yet I'm still struggling financially to make a living. I'm definitely underpaid.
I agree. I'm also underpaid. Yep. And it's definitely because of my race. I agree with you.
I worked 14 years as a civil servant making $38,000 a year. I was able to have a house over my head for 4 people of a 4-person family. I think you can make it work on what you
This
make.
guy's
Dude.
playing pretend. This guy's
Privilege.
just acting. Keep in mind, this isn't actually any like 9-to-5 shit we're talking about. He's just acting. They say he's underpaid with many blockbusters.
And if you're not making it there, do like everyone else does. If I'm failing in a career, I'll find another one.
Wait a second. Now, this website is listing his net worth at $2 million, which means
That's
his
what
net worth
yeah.
is less than the
You
value
can't believe
of his
any
house.
of that stuff because
I
it
know.
changes.
I know. But this listing is saying that his net worth is lower than his house, which means there's some debt that we're not hearing about.
Oh, he's just in debt. I could easily told you that just from hearing what he's saying right here.
Well, when people start making a lot of money, you technically are always living in a state of debt. Like you have a bunch of debt, but your income that you make is enough to pay off whatever debts you have going forward. So a lot of these people who are like multi-billionaire or multi-millionaires and stuff say their net worth is 10 million, but they have $30 million of assets and stuff. They technically will only sit there and pay themselves enough to be paying off whatever they need to pay off. And then when they go to buy whatever they're going to buy, they put it on a new line of credit or whatever. They do that all the time. That's how these people live. They just they game the system. It doesn't sound like this guy's doing it very well.
That's a sign for you that systemic racism is not something you can deal with lightly, he added. Jesus fucking Christ. It's so deeply inserted. It's so deeply inserted in so many things we do across the board. You don't overcome it. You just sort of have to cope with it and survive the best way you can. This is, keep in mind, anyone that's hearing us talk about this specific quote here, when you're watching the actual video, never listen to anything this person says. That is a defeatist, horrible mindset for any black person to have. Oh, you know what? Don't do anything in life because there's a magical system that's in place that's designed for you to fail. So don't actually try to improve at anything or don't do better. Just give up. Just accept it. Like, fucking, that's so stupid.
Speaking of magical system, you saw the lady who runs BLM lost 2 of her 3 mansions.
Good Lord, man.
In the fires.
Oh no.
Like, we're at the point now where people are just going to start using this as a default. I guess you could say black actors.
Yeah, at the point. They've been doing that for years.
Yeah. Well, I would say more prevalent now because, it gets them more clicks. Like, it's crazy. You guys told me that Zack Snyder casted this guy in his Rebel Moon movies. Yeah, systemic racism. Crazy.
Isn't he like a big character in the movies too?
Didn't he also cast Ray Fisher in them too? Oh, another black guy. Yeah, Zack Snyder, the guy that's using systemic racism to cast black people in his movies. Fucking goofy.
Well, you see, he's casting him at a lower rate, so that's the.
He should get paid lower. He's black. I'm just kidding. Henson's career in Hollywood has included studio tentpoles like Furious 7, 2 Shazam films, the Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel, and the horror franchise entries of A Quiet Place Part 2. I didn't even notice him in Quiet Place Part 2.
I remember him. I remember him now. When I saw that, I remembered it.
And A Quiet Place Day 1, plus Ridley Scott's Oscar-winning blockbuster Glad. Oh, systemic racism. Yeah, Ridley Scott, that racist guy who casted you in his movie. Yeah, fucking racist, man.
The dude's
Is
too old
Captain
enough. Like Ridley Scott's what, 90 years old, so he was probably, you know, around when all that racism was a real thing. And
Yeah.
that guy's still not racist.
Yeah. He was nominated for 2 Best Supporting Actor Oscars thanks to his work in America and Blood Diamond, the latter
remember
of which
Blood Diamond,
co-starred Leonardo DiCaprio and grossed $170 million worldwide. The actor told The Guardian in 2023 that he feels tremendously cheated when it comes to Hollywood pay, explaining, "I've come up in the business with some people who are absolutely well off and have very little of my accolades. So I feel cheated in terms of finances and in terms of the workload as well." You know what's crazy? Some actors
Get a better
Or-
agent. That's what it sounds
or
like. You need a better agent.
invest your money into other things. There's plenty of actors that invest their money into other things that is going to give you generational wealth later on
Ryan
if your
Reynolds.
career ever stumbles. Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds,
Reynolds.
The Rock does this. You know?
Okay, no, all right, you don't even have to do that. You know what? All you have to do, not
Not spend.
buy a $2 million house.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Because you got to think, your electricity bill is probably in the range of $5,000 a month.
I gotta say, I looked
Then
at
you
the
got
house, it's
water.
fucking
Then you got your
ugly.
housekeeper
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah,
landscaper.
It's a relatively
That's
big
all expensive
space.
as shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you
And it's
buy a
all
house like this
modern
and you
shit.
could take care of yourself and you could save money on your electricity, go for it. I feel if I ever was a millionaire and I could buy a mansion, I'd cut my own damn grass. I'd fucking cut my own bushes outside. I'll
I'd be
take care of the damn
buying
house
I'd be buying
myself.
property out in place like Lancaster that's out in like bumfuck Egypt, you know, and I have a nice house out there that only costs
Yep.
150, 200,000. Really easy to upkeep, you know. And then I guess if I have to travel into Hollywood, you know, just leave a couple hours
shucks.
early for a few
Yeah.
weeks. Oh no. Oh, my
Yep.
travel time for this 6-week shoot. Oh, I'm going to be inconvenienced for
And you can be in a
2
trailer
months
most
out
of the time
year.
anyway.
Yeah, and you could just sleep there. Like,
I'm also going to
Fuck,
point
man.
out
Or even buy a
that
house.
I'm also going to point out that this system he's talking about is so incredibly racist. A bunch of other black people managed to game it and are actually
Will
pretty well
Smith.
off. Well, yeah, Will Smith is one of them. Yeah,
You know, I just want to point
Jada
out,
Smith
though,
even did it at one point.
this behavior is so on brand with the poor black
Hollywood?
stereotype out there. And yeah, Hollywood. But I mean, it's okay. So the whole stereotype around black people
it's a
is
victim mentality. That's
a
what it
victim
is.
mentality for one. So they're gonna blame all their problems on an external locus of control. So it's someone else's fault. It's always someone else's fault. And then when they finally have the chance to get a leg up, instead of doing something intelligent with it, like buying a reasonable cost house, buying a car that just drives.
Yeah. Mhm.
When you think of a dumb black person, you think of them with a Rolex on or driving a Dodge
Rolex?
Charger.
Well,
No,
they have a
no.
studio apartment. They have a studio apartment while they got a Hellcat outside. Like,
Exactly.
I
That's a
don't
dumb,
see him
that's
as
a dumb
gay with the
decision.
Rolex.
I'm just pointing out that if you see a black, that's not a black person. That's a white person. A black person is
No,
smoking
no.
weed on the sidewalk, talking
That
about
one
his
too.
Jordans.
Jordans,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm getting a job.
But the whole
Without
thing is,
getting a
it's all they finally get some
Their
level
standing
of
as still as
wealth.
possible to not crease their Jordans. Yes.
Exactly. They get some wealth and they blow it on something stupid that they can't use to sustain themselves on or push themselves forward. And that's the exact same thing he did with the house. He bought the house because it was a status symbol and it was expensive, and now he can't sustain himself on it.
I've gone to studios for meetings and they're like, wow, we felt like you just got off the boat and then went back after Amistad. We didn't
It's
know
from VR.
we didn't know
Amistad, sorry.
you were here as a true actor. Henson said at the time, when you hear things like that, you can see that some people's vision of you or what you represent is very limiting. Even if that's
Okay.
true, who cares?
Fair enough. Fair enough. He said some people.
So, yes.
He didn't say all people. Some.
What
That's
does it
not
have to do with this
systemic.
race?
But wait, no. But regardless, I get where he's coming from, and he's right. But that's some people. That's not the system. That's
Yeah.
some people. Like for instance, you have a guy in a cop uniform. No matter how nice or fair this guy is, certain cultures see that and they say all people like this
Yep.
are horrible. That's an ism in itself.
Well, I got to
You know?
comment on the next things that he says on this next paragraph you're about to read.
Yeah.
I got comments on that one, so I'll let you
Yeah.
read that first,
I
and then I'll
just wanted-
comment on that.
You're fine. I just wanted to go over this just really quickly. So just piggybacking off what Darnell said, how in the world would that even apply in his brain when he still continues to act? He says some people see him like that, yet you still do it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. How people can see a problem, understand they have to overcome it, but then still blame the problem that they're actively trying to overcome.
And if you got a problem with people see with casting divisions saying you're not they didn't know you were a serious actor, that's on you for picking the non-serious roles.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah,
Bruce
like I said,
Willis-
either get it,
yeah.
get a better
If-
agent, or
if I
say
was a-
no to some of these roles.
Or
Get a
if I was
better
a
agent,
comedy,
or
if
say
I was
no.
a comedy
Find
actor,
the
and
better
I
roles.
went and read for Leonardo DiCaprio's role in Titanic, and I was told by the casting director, you know, man, look, I know you got like 10 comedies on your belt, and you made like 20 million every comedy, but we didn't think you were a serious actor. I wouldn't take fucking offense to that. I'd be like, you know what? You got a point, because all I did was
Bill's
stupid
got to
comedy.
get paid. Yeah,
That's
Nicolas
why a lot of
Cage.
these-
I mean,
and
I wouldn't
A lot
expect
of
you to
these
think I'm a serious
comedians,
actor.
a lot of
I was
these
gonna say,
comedians will do
Nicolas
that too. They
Cage
go to
and
serious
Bruce Willis
movies.
did this too. Both of them. Bruce Willis was just acting in random shit
No.
until he had that issue that came up with him later on that impacted his health. He still
Well,
got paid.
Right. But what I'm saying is specifically, he got offended that they said, we didn't think you were a serious actor. If you do a certain type of shit, they're going to think that's the type of actor you are.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get
So I hear what you're
typecast.
saying,
You get
Darnell,
typecast
and-
for a reason. Yeah.
And you're not wrong, but I don't think that's what happened to this dude, because he was in Amistad. Like, so he played one of the slaves on the ship. It was a rather dramatic role, and it's really awesome. But he's saying that like people were like, "Oh, you embodied that character so much, we thought you were fresh off the boat, and you could not act." Like that sucks that he was so good at the role that that's how they see him. Like that does suck. But then from there he went on to Gladiator.
Yeah.
He's in so many amazing ones. Like you mentioned. Now I'm blanking on both of them. The Quiet Place ones. He's the dude
Fast
on
and
the
the
boat.
Furious.
Well, on one of them he's on a boat, and then one of them he's on the island. But he chooses like some rather meaty roles, and they're a little bit smaller, but you always kind of remember him. Like he was in Blood Diamond, and he was awesome in that one. I don't remember him as like horrible roles or anything like that, but he is kind of one of those character actors that gets lost. It sucks. He should have something that he's starred in, and sadly, he doesn't quite have that. It sucks.
But it is what it is. It's up to me to redeem that. And he goes on to say, I still have to prove why I need to get paid, he added. They always come
That's how
at
work
me
works,
with a
but yes.
complete lowball. We only have this much for the role, but we love you so much, and we really think you can bring so much. Film after film, it's a struggle. I have yet to meet the film that paid me fairly.
Like Sci-Fi said, welcome to real work.
That's
I had
actually
to-
work. Yeah.
Every year
You
I
know-
had to do a performance review to keep my fucking job. Every year.
That's how most
real
of that
world,
shit
bud.
works.
You know why Samuel L. Jackson is so wealthy? He doesn't turn down jobs. Or Danny Trejo, he will never turn down a job if he can make it work. There's a reason they're wealthy. This perception of I'm not being paid what I'm worth, get off your fucking high horse. What you are worth is nothing. You have zero inherent value. As with the rest of actors, the only value any actor has is what the performance they are giving is going to draw in the box office. And I'm sorry, but some
I'll
guy
give you
who
one
did a
better.
couple of roles.
I'll give you one better. Tell me anybody out there in this fucking world that sees his name on a poster and says, I need to see that movie because he's in it.
You know
There's
what?
gonna
I
be
can sum up with I can sum
Bagel.
up.
Zero
you-
people. Oh, that
You
guy's
tell
in it? Who
someone
cares?
that you tell someone that he's going to star in the movie, and the response to it will be his only line from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Who?
No, wait. Now, don't get me wrong. If I see his name in a commercial, I see his face, I'm going to think, man, I'm going to like his character. Because I do like his characters in all these movies.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
does it compel you to go see it just because he's there?
I'm either going to, I have already made my mind up before he's in it or not.
Yeah,
So
if he happens
Kevin,
to be in it, you're like, oh, cool, he's there
Right.
too. I guess
I wanna touch on something
that
Kevin
helps my
said real
opinion
quick.
on it. Sure.
that executives will cast white actors in leading films that will draw money at the box office. Fair enough. Who's the white actor that carried Equalizer franchise? I'll wait.
I just want to also point out that white people are the majority and stuff. So if you want diversity of, let's
Well,
say,
here in America,
outcome,
sure,
that's
but we're
just
actually
how it
technically
works.
minorities around the world.
You know,
you
no,
look at
like,
it as the world, like
because people
we're-
will use
Yeah.
certain arguments like that. We're like, well, Hollywood typically casts white people. Well, because they're the majority. That's life. I'm sorry,
Tell you what.
you can't divert from that. White people make
Djimon,
up a majority of people. Sorry,
If
not
some
work.
chance you're watching this video, bud, I know you're competent. I know you know how to write. I know you know how to read. Maybe write a script for yourself and have someone pitch it and get a good casting director know who's gonna cast
you gotta have
So
have connections in Hollywood by now.
Make your life what you want it to be.
All right.
Yeah.
So Henson most recently appeared in Zack Snyder's 2 Rebel Moon movies for Netflix. His upcoming slate includes the survival movie Beneath the Storm with Phoebe, good lord, something.
Phoebe Dynevor.
War.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to be in some movies. Let's just say that. I'm not pronouncing all that trash. So all of this is ridiculous. If we're being completely honest here, all this is ridiculous. Let's start it here. Okay? I want you guys to really understand this. I know there's some young viewers that we have on the show. If you're black, I want to tell you this right now. Do not believe any of that, okay? You do not simply just have a defeatist mindset on stuff. That's the reason why black people think the way they do now. Because, well, you know what? Why try anything? There's already a fucking fairy tale system there to stop me. And it's like, what about all these other examples? Well, they just got lucky, dude. You just shut up. First, that's not how that works. There's no systemic racism. It was a thing, obviously, way back in the day, 1980s, 90s, 50s. Sure, I agree with that. Now, in this day and age, that doesn't exist. Come on. If you don't have a means to get to something, it's your fault.
He's been an actor for 30 years. He says he's been an actor for 30 years. It was worse back when he started than it is now. It is way better for black people now. It just is. And if you're going to sit there and still complain about that, then I'm going to keep saying this. Find a better fucking agent. Your agent is obviously getting you bad roles and they don't know how to fucking negotiate for you. Mm-hmm. And if you need to step in and do it yourself, then do it yourself, man. Tell them you're worth more.
Yeah.
But at this point, if you've been doing it for 30 years and you feel still screwed over, there's something on your end that is not working.
Yeah, because he can't blame it on I'm not getting the roles. Like, yeah, because when I actually read through the article that Variety had, it dawned on me that I've seen him in way more things than I care to remember. And he's not a bad actor. Usually when I see this guy, he's doing a pretty good job. You can tell he's giving it his all. It's not like he's running it down. Like Nicolas Cage, he's running it down in some of those roles. I don't believe he was trying to get all of them. Nicolas Cage definitely has a run it down kind of feel. But I believe Djimon was giving his best in all those roles. The problem here is that like he's been given all these chances. And he's at this point, it just has to be racism. But you're giving chances though. If it's racism, you wouldn't have been giving any chances. Like, what's going on here? You know? Oh, Darnell, you're muted. You've been rapping, but I can't hear you.
I'm gonna give all these examples we gave him of doing better. Dave Chappelle. Okay. Dave Chappelle. The dude stuck his nose to the grindstone and fucking earned where he is today. He's been in some shit. He's been in shit roles. He was fucked over by in that system that was very prevalent a long time ago. That motherfucker, and he'll say it in his comedy today. That motherfucker, he busted his ass and didn't stop till he reached his point. Mm-hmm. He didn't blame anyone else. Now, part of his stand-up is to blame other races. But again, a stand-up has some nugget of truth. I mean, comedy has some nugget of truth, and some stand-up is just some comedy is just there to be observational. But the dude didn't stop. He's been on top of the world for what, since
years?
03 when he had the Chappelle show. Yeah, he left, but you know what? The dude can't. Like, you know what? Fuck it, I want to do it again, and did it again.
You literally can name so many black people that have been this way, have been successful. So many.
You don't even have to just bring it to black people. You could just look at it like blue collar work or whatever. If you're at a business for 30 fucking years and you don't sit there and ask for a raise every year and or don't get one, and you never complain about it, and then 30 years later you're like, I'm not paid what I'm worth. I have 30 years of experience. That's your fucking fault, man, for not actually throwing that out there. If he's not sitting there fighting for it, then he's not going to get it. But if he's just taking whatever offers originally given to him, then that's what they're going to fucking pay him. They're not going to fight to pay him more.
I'm glad you brought this example.
Pay him more.
Let's use just a woman, not a black woman. You guys know I love this movie series a lot. Scream. What did Neve Campbell do when Paramount said you're not worth what you're worth? She said, I'm not being in the movie then. She literally just said, I'm not doing it.
And what did
And
they
what
do?
happened? They
They're bringing her
fired Melissa
back.
Barrera and Jenna Ortega, and like, come on, Nev, come on, girl, Sydney, Ghostface, Kumbaya, and she came back obviously because probably give her a fat paycheck.
Cajun?
Why do you say Kumbaya like an Italian gangster?
I heard it like a Cajun.
I'm just pointing out, if certain roles you don't feel like are going to be the best for you long term, don't take them. How many actors have we heard? Interviews, many of them say, I turned on this role because I just didn't feel like it was good. Some of them regret it. Will Smith had Wild Wild West or The Matrix. He regrets that one. Obviously, you're going to have that regret one every once in a while. That's obviously going to be the thing. But if you don't feel like it's going to be beneficial for you, you can say no. No one has a gun to your head saying you have to take this role. But we'll do closing thoughts and statements on this. We'll start with Arza, our resident white black man like myself. What do you think about Mr. Djimon's systemic racism comments?
He's just a dumbass who's looking to excuse the fact that he's a dumbass. He spent all of his money, he made a fool of himself, and he's got literally nothing to show for it. He chose bad roles, he's got a bad agent, and he's refusing to take roles that he should take. Because here's the thing, if you take a bad role that doesn't pay great, or if you take an okay role that doesn't pay great, it is a stepping stool to an even better role. How about if you're trying to change your appearance, you take a pay cut so you can prove to the world that you are a serious actor. You got to prove this shit because life isn't about being given shit. You have to earn it all. He needs to, if he was serious and he actually wanted to make his life better, he would have done that. But he doesn't. All he wants to do is the easy coasting life, and he wants to complain about nothing so that he can feel better.
All right, Darnell, what about you?
I said my piece, man. The dude, look, man. I get how you feel. You feel how you feel, and I get you're told to feel a certain way. But we've listed numerous people who are not white who hit the fucking hit the top of Mount Everest. You're on top of the fucking world, dude. It's on you. You've been here 30 years. You make the change. You get the role you want. Fire agent, get a new one. Whatever you got to do it. But don't blame other people for your failures, or don't blame other people for why you're not where you need to be. That's LeBron James mentality, and don't be that guy.
Yep.
Right, Cyfax, what about you?
Yeah, no, I've already said it. The main thing I would say, hey man, find a new fucking agent. If you think you're worth more, you need to have somebody fighting for you to make more. Because most of these guys aren't in those rooms doing the deals, doing all that stuff. That's what they have an agent for. If he's not getting the money he thinks he deserves, fine. Then get a new agent who will fight for you to do that. Because yeah, like we've all said, like everything we've seen him in, he's usually pretty damn good in. That's one thing, sure. But if all your roles are, like I said, side guy number freaking 5 or whatever, then like who kind of cares? He has 2 movies that you can really reference in the last 30 years of his career that he's been around for, like the whole movie, like Gladiator or something. Okay, great. I use that as an example for when somebody else hires you. But there's plenty of actors. Like I was just thinking of one like Daniel Radcliffe, right? He did all the Harry Potter movies. And then what do you see him in? You see him in a bunch of like indie films because he wants to expand how his acting
He
career
changed
is.
his opinion of him.
And you know what? I guarantee he didn't make anywhere near Harry Potter money for some of these like really low budget random movies. And if you're doing low budget whatever movies, you're not going to get paid the big money as the main guy. You're just not. So unless you're getting these roles as the main person or like the second billing, you got to be in the billing. If your name is not on the posters, you're not getting paid as well as everybody else. You're just not. So get a better agent, man. That's the best way I would put it. Just however you want to feel. And like somebody in the chat's like, oh, you don't tell people how to feel. Cool. I'm not telling him how to feel. I'm telling him he needs a new agent.
I'm just
Get a
telling
new
you the
fucking
reality
agent.
of the situation. Yeah, I'm not saying, and keep in mind, so I will also point this out. Someone can say how they feel. That doesn't make you right. I can feel that I'm a fucking circus clown riding on a unicycle.
You'd be right in that case, though.
Okay, maybe that one wasn't the best setup, actually. Gray, what about you, man? You're
Yeah,
thoughts on this one?
I guess I see it a little closer to his point. I'm not going to say that it's racism that does this or anything, but man, the dude has killed it in like almost every role that he's been in. So you're right. I don't generally seek out films where he's like top billing because sadly he is more of a character actor. He isn't a leading man. He could have a point that there aren't like a ton of, you know, Will Smith seems to take the brunt of kind of if you need an action, somewhat buff black dude who's charismatic. Um, you know, he could be writing his own stuff, like you guys mentioned, and he could have his agent be fighting for it more. But you might have a point that there aren't as many properties out there. I think the thing that you do with that is you try and make your own. It seems like yes, the opportunities are not there. You got to try to make the most of it. But man, there's been so many amazing character actors who have been associated with so many major things. Like I'm thinking of a lot of the dudes with like the Coen brothers films. Yeah, they don't get the recognition that they deserve. And it would be awesome if there was like some leading thing for them. But a lot of them end up kind of writing something. And, you know, that doesn't always go well. I think Chris Pine was feeling a bit of this. So he wrote his movie, The Pool Man. And man, that thing sucks. So I don't know.
Terrible.
Yeah, you're not guaranteed to like have success even if you make your own shit, but you are guaranteed to star in it if you're making it. So
what is Zachary
you're right.
Levy doing? That I'll just add to your point before I go. Zachary Levy, whatever fucking pronounce his last name, he's gonna start doing his own shit now. He's like, you know what? I made enough money. Now I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna build my own Hollywood studios. You know, yeah, that's kind of the way you actually, I'll say, push your career into a new direction. Is you get money, you allocate it to a certain place to make it better for you long term. But just, you know, my closing thoughts on this is, good Lord, man, I hate when any black person blames systemic racism, even though they'll be literally given opportunities, which proves otherwise it's systemic that's holding you back. Just pointing out, hey, there might be some people that don't like you because of your race, maybe, or maybe they didn't like you because you like mad. Maybe you looked at them the wrong way. Maybe you kind of bumped them the wrong way. Pointing out, it could be a lot of different reasons, but yeah, any actor, especially any black one, blaming systemic racism when they've been given all this roles, all this much money, is just lying. That's a coping mechanism, and it just surely proves that the system is not racist. The system is racist, but you were giving all these movies. Pick one. Is the systemic racism in the room with you right now? Just pointing it out there, you know. But yeah, that's just how it works. That's how these kind of things go. But yes, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. We're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace.